Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, the investigation at the Sun Prairie explosion site ends overnight. What's next for the city as they begin the process of rebuilding? Plus, after a shocking number of suicides in Mount Horeb, teachers, staff, and administrators are finding more ways to meet the mental health needs of their kids. How they're raising awareness for a growing concern this weekend. And Maxwell Days, Street Days, days will look a little different this year. Why they've invited Monroe Street businesses to join them. Your news starts right now.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is July 21st. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Hattie McLean is in for Chris this morning. Happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you as well. Yeah, Chris is off today, so I'm working this morning, just like a regular little day of the week.
There you go. It's like you didn't get to sleep in at all, but
no,
I'm happy to have you here.
Well, it's nice to be here, and I'm happy to say that our forecast is not as wet as it was yesterday. Boy, what a dreary day yesterday across the area. This morning, we wake to mainly dry conditions. Here's a view from the Edgewater Skycam. No raindrops on the camera lens right now, which is a good thing after yesterday. Take a look at Doppler track, and you'll see that a few showers overnight have fallen apart right now, so mainly a dry start to the day. If you're heading to the farmers market early this morning, expect dry conditions. It's still pretty muggy outside, though. Temperatures are in the upper 60s, even 70 degrees in a few spots. Our forecast today takes temperatures back into the mid-70s, about where we were yesterday afternoon. North winds continue, and some scattered showers, though, are expected later on today. Let's get a look at First Alert traffic this morning. We'll show you what's happening on the maps in the area. Things are still pretty quiet, no major delays or any accidents to slow you down this morning. So if you're traveling into Madison, you're still going at posted speeds. And that's your First Alert traffic.
I'm sure many people will be happy that at least it's not an all-day washout, right?
That's right. Don't cancel any plans today. Just keep that umbrella close by.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Breaking overnight, the investigation into what caused the deadly explosion in downtown Sun Prairie is officially over. Right now, we don't yet know what police and private investigators found during that investigation, but the city administrator and Sun Prairie Police Chief Pat Anhalt have confirmed to News 3 it has ended. The site will now be turned over to the city for cleanup and recovery. The city of Sun Prairie posted on its Facebook page overnight that it looks forward to getting the area cleaned, repaired, and functioning again, and greatly appreciates the ongoing patience and cooperation of impacted residents and businesses. Governor Walker has declared a state of emergency for Sun Prairie and Dane County following last week's explosion. The executive order directs state agencies to continue to provide aid to that community. The governor writes, "My thoughts and prayers continue with the people of Sun Prairie. This declaration will ensure state agencies provide whatever assistance is needed to help the community rebuild and to help the families impacted recover." Following the explosion, the city of Sun Prairie is hearing concerns about debris affecting the air quality there. The city administrator says some of the buildings close to the blast site are older and could contain minerals that are hazardous to your health. Some people who live in the area have even told us it's hard for them to breathe when they're near downtown Sun Prairie. City officials say right now they're following instructions from the Department of Natural Resources.
So we're doing the best we can as far as handling that debris safely, trying to mitigate any dust, anything going into the air, whether it be asbestos, whether it be lead paint or anything of that nature.
The DNR has also instructed the city to water down debris as it's removed from the area. When the buildings get torn down, they will water down that debris as well. New this morning, a silver alert has been canceled for an elderly man. 62-year-old Paul Looper Jr. has been found safe. The Wisconsin Crime Alert Network announced Looper was missing last night. The Mayville man was last seen in Madison at the dollar store on East Washington Avenue. Developing right now at Devil's Lake State Park. Investigators are trying to figure out how a fisherman died there. He was found dead in the lake Friday evening. The DNR says a passerby called 911 around 6:15 last night after finding the man unresponsive near the park's south shore. They tried to perform CPR but were unable to revive him. We're told the man was in his 50s and it is an ongoing investigation. 5:04 this morning. Right now, police in Sheboygan County say a pilot died on impact after crashing his plane Friday afternoon. The pilot's vintage military-style plane crashed into a farm field on County Highway O around 4 o'clock Friday. That's in Sheboygan Falls. 50 animals were also killed when the plane crashed into a barn they were being housed in. Two farmers were injured. One was flown to the hospital, the other was transported by ambulance.
The FAA will be assisting us in our investigation, and the NTSB will also be hopefully arriving sometime either late tonight or tomorrow.
Crews say that building was a total loss after it was hit, and a second structure has significant damage. They believe the plane was taking off at the time of the crash. Following the deadly duck boat accident in Missouri that killed 17 people this week, we checked in with the companies in the Dells that use them. Both tell us their attractions are safe and different from the one in Missouri. The ducks in the Dells are original World War II vehicles. The owners say many ducks across the country are not originals, and in the Dells, they always stay 100 to 150 feet from the shore.
And we have easy exits all along the 2 miles that we travel on along the Wisconsin River. Then when we get into Lake Delton, we have an entrance and an exit. They're about 300 plus yards apart, so we're able to get out of the water at any place within a minute or so.
Both Dells Army ducks and the original Wisconsin ducks pay close attention to the weather and won't go out in severe weather. They tell us the local police department will notify the attractions in the Dells if there is severe weather on the way. Right now, the superintendent of Mount Horeb Schools says his community is stronger together. This comes after the loss of 3 young people in that village. A 19-year-old and 21-year-old both died by suicide within the last couple weeks, and police are looking into whether a 10-year-old boy took his own life as well. Tomorrow night, Mount Horeb is inviting people to a candlelight vigil in light of the recent suicides in that community. It starts at 8 p.m. Sunday at the fire station, ending at what's called at the Happy Place Garden at the Intermediate Center across from Liberty Park. At the end of the walk, there will be note cards and markers available for people to express their thoughts. We talked with the family of 19-year-old Joseph Larson this week. Family and friends were shocked when he took his own life earlier this month. His mom, Heidi, says her son struggled with autism, anxiety, and depression. Today, the Culvers in Mount Horeb is donating 25% of its sales to Joseph's family. We want to remind you there are phone lines, text lines, all sorts of crisis resources that are there to help you if you're struggling. The 24-hour National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number is right there on the bottom of your screen right now, 1-800-273-2855. We also have a number of Wisconsin-based resources up on our Time to Talk page right now at channel3000.com. 507 right now, an annual shopping tradition in downtown Madison will include more stores selling on State Street this weekend. Maxwell Street Days continues today and runs through Sunday. Shops along there will bring their deals out onto the sidewalks, and this year, organizers invited businesses on Monroe Street to participate. Many of those family-owned stores have struggled to keep customers coming in during the road construction along Monroe. Also happening this weekend, you'll have a chance to check out planes from World War II, the Vietnam War, and the Korean War. It's Janesville Warbird Weekend at the Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport. An event coordinator tells the Janesville Gazette that seeing the planes doesn't just teach people about history. Veterans can get inside the cockpit to fly those planes, hopefully replacing some of the traumatic memories associated with the war with new memories of flying. Warbird Weekend runs both today and tomorrow. Coming up on 509 this Saturday morning, and it's a soggy Saturday for fairgoers at the market. Rain has been soaking much of the area for the past day or so. We're taking a live look over the Capitol and downtown this morning. Hattie's in next with how the weekend forecast is shaping up. And there are several shows and movies you should find some time for this weekend. Will's here with your 3 things to watch. That's all coming up on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning from the patio. A little breezy outside right now, but at least I don't need the umbrella. A little bit of a break in the rain this morning, but don't be surprised if you see some showers pop up later on this afternoon. It has been a wet 48 hours for us here across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at some of these rain totals. Again, these are radar estimated, but anywhere you see that bright blue shaded color, that's over an inch of rain, and that covers a good part of our viewing area. It was some much needed rain, so that's a good thing. Here in Madison, officially at the airport, we stand at about 1.3 inches for the 48-hour period, but you can see there were some higher amounts, especially to the south and west, parts of Grant County and Lafayette and Iowa County, picking up 2 to 3 inches of rain. Also some higher totals north of Madison. Here's a look at the radar map, though, this morning. Things are relatively quiet right now. We had a few showers overnight, but they have since fallen apart, and we start with mainly dry conditions. Zooming out the map a little bit to see the entire state, there still is plenty of moisture rotating around this storm system, which is centered right on the southern tip of Lake Michigan at this hour. Now, it will continue to slowly move away from us through the day today, but it remains close enough that a few showers and even an isolated thunderstorm will be possible later on this afternoon. So your farmers market forecast, a mild and muggy start to the day. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. We do have that chance for rain, though, after lunchtime today. Winds will be from the north as well. Here's a look at your probability of precipitation. Relatively low early this morning, but then does tick up a little bit as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. So if you have plans outside later today, be aware that you're going to need to take the umbrella along. Our temperatures early this morning are in the mid to upper 60s, a few 70s on the map as well, 70 in Janesville and Boscoville, but 67 here in Madison and 66 in the Dells. Dew points are going to remain high today, so be aware of that. It's still going to be quite muggy. Future track forecast showing you how these showers begin to develop across the area as we go through the afternoon and evening. They should be fairly fast moving, so not calling for any complete washouts in any one location. Rain totals today are definitely going to be lighter than they were yesterday. Your extended forecast calls for just a chance for rain mainly to the east early on Sunday. Otherwise, Josh, we're back into the 80s as we head into next week.
I can certainly take those temperatures. Really not much to complain about there.
Yeah, pretty comfortable.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everywhere you look, there are tour buses, taxis, and Ubers driving on the wrong side of the road, parking illegally, and blocking driveways just to take a picture in front of the Full House home. But that's about to change. The local municipal transportation agency in San Francisco has agreed to ban all 9 or more seat tour buses in that area. It's something neighbors have been asking the board to do for years now. Neighbors now say it's just one small step in stopping the traffic jams on this block.
Since the promotion of the house, we've counted 1,000 to 1,500 visitors or more on busy days. They come in cars, Ubers and Lyfts, tour buses, go-cars, bikes, and motorcycles.
Neighbors say that even with this new restriction, fans will continue to come, much to their frustration. Right now, the second most photographed home in the country could be yours for a cool $2 million. The Brady Bunch house is on the market. The iconic home in Studio City, California was last sold in 1973 for $60,000. The exterior of the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house was used in the opening and closing shots of the show. Everything else was filmed on a studio lot. Even though it's been updated, it still has that 70s vibe. According to the listing agent, the only home photographed more than the Brady's house is the White House. 5:16 is your time right now. A soggy weekend is the perfect time to catch a new movie in theaters or revisit a classic at home. Our Will Loper shares his picks in this week's 3 Things to Watch.
Hey Josh, prepare for Shark Week with one of the best shark movies in recent years, The Shallows.
What did you say the name of this place was?
This is paradise.
Blake Lively is stranded on a rock and must survive a shark. The movie is simple, tense, and very stressful.
30, 40 yards. It takes him 32 seconds.
The Shallows is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
She draws out her second bottom turn and hooks it one more time. Bethany Hamilton is holding nothing back, potentially one of the highest scoring rides of the day as this final comes to a close here at Turtle Bay.
For a real-life shark story, check out Soul Surfer. The film stars Anna Sophia Robb as Bethany Hamilton, who gets attacked by a shark and loses an arm, and must relearn how to surf and live her life after losing the limb.
Take it nice and easy, Bethany. Hey, don't worry about it. It was a junk wave anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll get the next one.
Soul Surfer is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
And of course, any talk of shark movies has to include Jaws.
You all know me. Know how I earn a living. I'll catch this bird for you, but it ain't gonna be easy. Bad fish. Not like going down the pond chasing bluegills or tommycats. This shark, swallow you whole.
Roy Scheider stars as a police chief, Martin Brody, who must find a way to stop a giant shark from terrorizing a local beach.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
Jaws is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy swimming. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper from News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
5:19 right now. From movies to music, maybe some live entertainment is more up your alley this weekend. Just ahead, we go backstage with local band The Jimmies. We're featuring them in this month's Morning Notes. That's when News 3 This Morning, Saturday continues.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Our forecast today starts on a rather cloudy note. Here's the WISC-TV Skycam. Looking to the east, I don't think we're going to pick up any sunrise this morning. Clouds in place across the area. It is mainly dry, though, across southern Wisconsin. Look for some scattered showers, though, to develop as we head towards the afternoon. Still plenty of moisture up to the north, rotating around this storm system. Temperatures statewide this morning range from the mid to upper 50s in the north to around 70 here in southern Wisconsin. So there is a little bit of change in temperature as you head north this morning. Our forecast today calls for temps to not move too far. We'll climb into the low 70s by lunchtime. Scattered showers, even a few isolated rumbles of thunder expected this afternoon with a high of 75. No severe weather, though, expected today. Tonight, we'll fall back to a low of 63 degrees. Still can't rule out a few showers, mainly in the morning to the east on Sunday. Otherwise, the storm system will finally move away and bring dry weather and warmer temperatures back to the area for the start of next week. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. From failure to front man, you'd never know Jimmy Vagley once received an F in his high school band class. That F actually gave him the motivation to learn. As photojournalist Christopher Hobbaker shows us, tonight he'll play on the same stage as one of the country's most popular blues rock bands. Here's this month's Morning Notes.
Jimmy's sound is it's kind of a cross between Chicago traditional blues and a little bit of a tinge of New Orleans funk based around the horns and the horn sound and a little Hammond in there. So it's kind of a gumbo of a whole bunch of stuff. Say God don't give us rolling, we bear. Yeah, I know she's like Green Reaper,
big, fun, loud. It's a party when the Jimmys play.
I play piano and Hammond organ.
And vocals.
And vocals, correct. You have Perry Weber, the guitar player, the blues icon, we call him. And the bass, my lifelong friend Johnny Wortweiler from Monroe. And the horns are Pete Ross, Mike Bowman, and Kevin Fazy.
Just the energy and the camaraderie with the guys. They're all beautiful guys, you know. And so what else could you ask for?
She expensive, she is also fine. She don't need the best, but I had always grown up with horn bands. My family had always been musically inclined, and I knew I wanted to start a band at some point that had horns in it, and I put out the CD, hired a whole bunch of friends, and lo and behold, I just started a band, and here we go.
This is an example of a good American right here bringing beer to the band. Let's lay that out right now.
We're working on a whole slew of new ones. Probably have, 15 or 20 new songs.
Hard to explain what happens when you bring the music and the joy together. It's rewarding every day that we do it.
Jimmys are the Madison band. Everybody loves the Jimmys. If you get a chance to come and see us, please do it.
And thanks to Christopher Hobbaker for throwing that together. You can catch the Jimmys in person tonight at the Edgewater. They're opening for Blues Traveler. The show starts at 6. Coming up on 528 this morning, today's top stories are straight ahead, including the one-stop shopping event where you can pick up deals from both Maxwell and Monroe Street businesses. And coming to Washington for round 2, it's an invitation that surprised even some top intelligence officials. A look at what would be a history-making second meeting between President Trump and Putin, this time in Washington. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. A second history-making meeting. After a whirlwind week both in Washington and overseas, President Donald Trump does something no president has done in nearly a decade: invite the leader of Russia to the White House.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is just after 5:30 on this July 21st. I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie will join us in a moment with your forecast, but first, new information from Sun Prairie overnight. The investigation into what caused the deadly explosion in downtown is over. We don't know the results of that investigation just yet, but the city administrator and Sun Prairie police chief have confirmed it is complete. We're told the site will now be turned over to the city for cleanup and recovery. Happening today, the Culvers in Mount Horeb is donating 25% of its sales to Joseph Larson's family. Joseph was the 19-year-old boy who took his own life earlier this month. We talked to his family earlier this week. His mom, Heidi, says her son struggled with autism, anxiety, and depression. Joseph used to work at the Mount Horeb Culvers. An annual shopping tradition in downtown Madison will include even more stores selling on State Street this weekend. Maxwell Street Days continues today and runs through tomorrow. Shops along there will bring deals out onto the sidewalks, and this year, organizers invited businesses on Monroe Street to participate. Many of those family-owned stores have struggled to keep customers coming in during the road construction along Monroe Street. This weekend, you have a chance to check out planes from World War II, the Vietnam War, and the Korean War. It's Janesville Warbird Weekend at the Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport. An event coordinator tells the Janesville Gazette that seeing the planes doesn't just teach people about history. Veterans can actually get inside the cockpit to fly those planes, hopefully replacing some of the traumatic memories associated with war with new memories of flying. Warbird Weekend runs both today and tomorrow. Now here's Hattie with your First Alert forecast. Hattie, good morning.
Good morning, Josh. Yeah, not a bad day in Janesville. There is a slight chance for rain this afternoon, but a dry start this morning for the entire region. Here's a look from our Edgewater Skycam at the Capitol in Madison. Just a cloudy start to the day. 67 degrees right now with north winds right around 10 miles per hour. Dew point is in the mid-60s, so it's feeling quite muggy this morning. Take a look at the radar map, and it looks quite different than it did yesterday. Pretty quiet at this hour, and I would expect things to remain quiet for the next couple of hours. By the time we get towards the lunch hour, though, that's when we start to see some showers and even a few isolated thunderstorms move in. So fair game for some rain later on today. Don't cancel any plans. The rain isn't going to be as widespread as it was yesterday. High temperatures will be in the middle 70s. Now let's get a look at your First Alert traffic maps this morning. Take a look at what's happening in and around Madison. Still very quiet. No delays on Stoughton Road or the Beltline or in the downtown areas just yet. If you are traveling into Madison, you're still going at posted speeds on all the major routes into the city. And that's your First Alert traffic.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Developing this morning following a whirlwind weekend both abroad and at home, President Donald Trump is now inviting Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington, D.C. for a second summit. A Russia leader hasn't visited the White House in nearly a decade. Lauren Podesta explains how this would be a huge sign for diplomacy between the two countries.
Less than a week has passed since President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sat down for talks in Helsinki, Finland. Now Mr. Trump wants another summit, this time on home turf.
The White House has announced on Twitter that Vladimir Putin is coming to the White House in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be special.
Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates appeared caught off guard about the potential summit in September when asked at the Aspen Security Forum yesterday. Coates did say he wants to get to the bottom of the cyber threats that the Russians pose to our democracy.
Between now and the election, we just need to assure the American people we're doing absolutely everything we can to make this a clean election.
What lawmakers clearly hope for in a future summit is more transparency about what will be discussed. Right now, it's still unclear what exactly Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin agreed to behind closed doors.
We shouldn't be just guessing based on the statements of the Russian ambassador or based on things we hear reported in the media, as valuable as that is.
And if President Putin again denies Russian meddling in U.S. elections,
our party needs to stand up more and say, this is wrong, this is untrue.
Republican Senator Jeff Flake said he wants to see an immediate rebuttal from the president and the entire Republican Party. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
President Trump tweeted a broad list of topics he hopes to discuss at the second meeting, including terrorism, security for Israel, cyber attacks, and trade. Time now is 5:36 this morning. Thousands of miles away is a threat rising in the Atlantic Ocean, a massive iceberg terrorizing an entire village. Why this threat is so scary, not just because of its size and for those living around it, but because of its connection to climate change. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Your first alert weather forecast for this morning starts on a cloudy note. Here's a look at Platteville this morning. Good morning, Platteville. It is cloudy but not rainy right now. 68 degrees in Platteville and Mineral Point, 67 in Madison, 65 in the Dells. Today still has a chance for some rain, but it won't be as wet as it was yesterday. Here's a look at our Doppler map this morning. You see a few showers out over Lake Michigan and affecting far southeastern Wisconsin. A little bit of rain, though, will rotate through the area this afternoon and evening, but rain totals are much lighter than they were yesterday. Here's a look at our temperatures over the next 12 hours. We'll climb from the 60s this morning back into the mid-70s this afternoon. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Hattie. Coming up on 541 this morning, happening now, a remote village in Greenland is threatened by a massive iceberg. Video captured a large piece of the iceberg breaking off and crashing into the water. There are many fears another breakaway chunk could trigger a tsunami. As Mark Phillips reports, researchers blame the threat on climate change.
It's huge, it's beautiful, and when the massive iceberg that's grounded off the tiny Greenland fishing port of Inarssuit starts to break up, it's dangerous. The village on Greenland's west coast is home to only 169 people, and more than 30 of them have already been moved to higher ground because when the iceberg calves, when chunks of it fall into the sea, powerful waves surge into the harbor. If the warm weather means the berg breaks up faster, or worst of all, rolls over, the town could be flooded. Greenland's ice is on the move. This is the Helheim Glacier on the east coast, and that's a chunk half the size of Manhattan breaking off in a spectacular event captured last month by a husband and wife climate science team from New York University.
It was really extraordinary. The sound was like a sonic boom or thunder, a thunderstorm.
Denise and David Holland of NYU have spent decades studying Greenland's ice and have never seen anything like it. Is this an event that we're going to be seeing more and more of?
Warmer air, or perhaps even more important, warmer water, leads to very rapid disintegration of ice. And icebergs are a very unstable structure.
The calving of icebergs off Greenland's glaciers isn't new. The question is whether it's speeding up because the Arctic seas are warming, and what that means. On a trip there several years ago, that it was happening was obvious. How quickly these icebergs break off the glaciers and how fast they float out to sea and melt will determine how quick sea levels rise across the planet. This isn't theory, these are the real consequences of climate change in handy frozen packets. These bergs, the Helheim Glacier, that monster stuck off Inarssuit, they are the future. Those residents of Inarssuit are watching that berg and watching the thermometer, and so should we. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
The iceberg is so large that it can be seen from space. So can several others, which scientists say are also dangerous because they're so close to those area villages. 5:43 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we have several ideas for you. Live music is popping up just about everywhere around town, and a summer classic returns. Yes, we're talking about the Dane County Fair. What you need to know before heading out the door in your 608 coming up next on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. But first, if you have a child turning 3 years old soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. On this Saturday morning, we're starting with dry conditions, which is a nice change after yesterday, but still cooler than normal temperatures. By this time in July, we would normally hit a high of 82 degrees. We're in the 70s this weekend. We do jump back into the 80s for a time next week, but then round out the week in the 70s, even looking ahead to the upcoming weekend, temperatures still a little bit cooler than normal, so not a terribly hot end to the month of July. Here's a look at your Dane County fair forecast. Again, not as wet as it was yesterday, so a dry start to the day. Temperatures will climb into the middle 70s today, but scattered showers are possible, even a few isolated rumbles of thunder for the afternoon and evening. So just be aware of that. Keep the umbrella close by. On the radar map this morning, most of the state is actually dry. We do have a little bit of rain in the far eastern part of the state. Plenty of moisture, though, rotating around this storm system. The storm system is actually in the southern part of Lake Michigan, or right over the southern tip of Lake Michigan. It's still close enough today to bring rain chances to the area. But as far as severe weather is concerned, no severe weather expected here across southern Wisconsin. The severe weather threat is well off to the south and west. Also, another storm system bringing a slight risk for severe weather to parts of the northern plains. But for us, we look for mainly more of the same as we had yesterday. Cloudy skies in the area. As this area of low pressure pulls a little bit further away, though, the showers are not going to be as numerous, but they will pop up this afternoon and then diminish through the evening hours. High pressure is getting a little closer, so we should see a better chance for a bit of sunshine later on Sunday. Still that chance for some rain mainly in the morning hours, but things should dry out and even start to clear out as we head towards the afternoon and evening on Sunday. Then a quiet and warmer start to the next work week. A live look from the Edgewater Skycam at downtown Madison. A very gray start to the day. We have cloudy skies, but mild temperatures. It is 67 here in Madison, 70 in Janesville, 68 in Mineral Point, 70 this morning in Boscobel. Still a little muggy as well. Those dew point numbers this morning are in the 60s, and they'll climb a little bit through the day, so staying very muggy even as we head through the afternoon. North winds, though, expected today a little breezy at times in that 10 to 15 mile-an-hour range as we head through the afternoon. Here's a look at your forecast then as you plan your day today. Look for cloudy skies. While there may be a few breaks in the cloud cover, especially to the west, mostly cloudy skies will be the rule, with those scattered showers popping up during the afternoon and then moving through during the evening. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. Temperatures will stay a little bit cooler than normal for the weekend, but then we do get back into the 80s with dry weather as we head into next week. Let's take a look at our pet walk forecast.
Oh.
Yeah, Gracie and Emily in Stoughton. What a cute pic. A good day for a walk. Maybe just have to dodge a few raindrops during the afternoon.
We were talking earlier, it'll be nice not to have to sweat for once. You know,
Yes.
sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of a cooler day during the summer, right?
That's right. I'll take a few rain showers if it means temperatures in the 70s.
You bet. All right, well, since it's a gray day outside, we've got a great picture to show you. Julie Hogue sent this in. Check out that sunrise. I feel like we've had a lot of great sunrise pics lately. Julie, thanks so much for sharing that. That's in Roxbury. We always appreciate those photos. So what does your morning look like? Be sure to take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. What is the weekend in the 608? And here's a look at what's going on around town. Let's start with a big one with an annual favorite continuing all weekend long. The smell of corn dogs, cotton candy, and cows. The Dane County Fair takes over the Alliant Energy Center grounds. It showcases aerial artists, stunt dogs, animal exhibits, carnival rides, fair food, and live music. And speaking of music, contemporary Christian music or musician Ryan Stevenson will play at the fair tonight. There's also a chance to check out a brand new space in Madison, and it's sure to be a new favorite entertainment space, no doubt. It's called Communication. You can find it on Milwaukee Street. The grand opening will be held today from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and we're told the music and art space is for all ages. They'll have a musician and an art workshop, both kid-friendly events in the morning. The fun continues all day with a live music a little later at 7 p.m. If local bands aren't your thing and you want the real deal, how about a little blues traveler tonight at the Edgewater? The band, known for its top 40 hits like Run Around and Hook, will play a little after 6 o'clock this evening. The band's music covers a variety of genres, including blues, rock, and soul. Local favorite, the Jimmies, opens up the party of the summer starting at 6 p.m. And as always, be sure to pick up this copy of the month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. Coming up on 5:52 right now, there's a full hour of News 3 ahead coming up at 8 this morning. Then be sure to join us for news at our 6 and 10 o'clock. We're going to have more on the community of Sun Prairie is rallying together again this weekend as they begin to rebuild. But first, born into pure chaos, the unique baby delivery gone viral thanks to where baby Gracelyn was born. Hear from her parents just ahead on News 3 this morning, Saturday. Welcome back at 5:55. An expectant couple had planned their baby's birth for months, but earlier this week they were forced to abandon those plans and think fast. Savannah Louie shows us how their story has gone viral thanks to where their baby was born.
Baby Gracelyn is calm and quiet. You'd never guess she was born into pure chaos.
I realized, oh my gosh, this is happening. I'm going to give birth in a Chick-fil-A bathroom.
That's right, a Chick-fil-A bathroom. The Griffin family was driving to San Antonio's University Hospital Tuesday night, but plans changed during a bathroom break at the Stone Ridge Chick-fil-A off Highway 281 and Evans.
We were able to bang on the door because she kept saying she had to go to the bathroom.
The restaurant was closed, but employees let the 38-week pregnant mother inside. That trip to the bathroom quickly turned serious.
I couldn't really hold anything in.
We're going to do something great, but we're going to do it right here and we're going to do it right now.
And I didn't hesitate for 1 second.
I hear high-pitched screaming and I'm like, okay, this is serious, this is happening. And I get on the phone with the 911 dispatcher.
Brenda was there that night. She's used to delivering orders, but none like this.
Assistance to the dispatcher over what color is the baby, is it good, is it crying?
Robert handled his daughter's life-threatening obstacles.
The umbilical cord that was wrapped around actually twice.
In just a matter of minutes, the Griffins had given birth to a brand new baby girl right inside this Chick-fil-A bathroom. Stressfully, but safely. The parents are receiving praise while little Gracelyn gets presents. Free Chick-fil-A for life and a guaranteed first job when she turns 16. But the most special gift of all, something that couldn't be wrapped.
A new friendship, and I want to say it's a friendship for life.
Savannah Louie, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Well, Gracelyn's going to have quite the life story there. She's going to be all about that Chick-fil-A.
I hope she likes chicken.
I hope so, too.
All right, well, our forecast for today calls for cloudy skies. You're seeing that right now in the WISC-TV sky cam. Radar map is pretty quiet right now, so a dry couple of hours this morning. After lunchtime, though, that's our best chance for some scattered showers and even a few isolated rumbles of thunder to pop up across southern Wisconsin. High temperatures will be in the middle 70s today.
All right, Hads, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 8 o'clock on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.